Hey everybody, Anthony Rudolph here, and welcome to Born to Create. So Born to Create, guys, it's about creativity. It's about if who or what you want to be doesn't exist, go out there and create it. So if you have a mission, a goal, or dream, our goal was to help you or give you the tools to go out there and create the life that you want starting today. So today I have a special guest, Mrs. Elle Jones, who is a personal brand developer. Did I get that right?
Personal brand strategist.
Personal brand strategist, life coach, and an amazing friend to me and my family.
Born to create, born to live, born to survive, born to give. We born. Hey, we born. Born to create, born to live, born to survive, born to give. We born.
Elle was born to create. She's done a lot, a whole lot in her short life. And instead of me telling her glory, I want to talk to her and let her explain to you what she does daily to create and to help other people create the lifestyle that they want. So tell us a little bit about Elevate Now.
Well, hello everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Elevate Now, in a nutshell, Elevate Now is a multimedia empowerment lifestyle brand for women. I'm like, what the heck does that mean? Essentially what that means is that I use multimedia technology and tools and strategies to create programs, platforms, events, and products for women, particularly women who are either aspiring, emerging, or established entrepreneurs. It didn't start out that way though. It started out as simply an empowerment lifestyle blog. And I launched it back in 2012, but the idea was actually birthed back in 2011. I'm a 16 plus year lupus survivor. And back in March of 2011, I had what we call a really bad lupus flare, and it attacked my body in such a way that I ended up being on my deathbed. And I was in ICU for a month. And during that time, my oldest daughter was a senior in high school, and I remember praying, like, God, just let me live long enough to see my baby graduate. Wow. That was my initial prayer. And despite everything that I was going through physically, all of the doctors and the nurses and other medical personnel, and even down to the cafeteria workers, they would all say the same thing. It's like, you are literally in here fighting for your life, but you're one of the most pleasant patients we have ever had. You're so busy encouraging other people as they come through, and really, you're probably the one that needs the encouragement.
Right.
And that is a gift that I've had all my life. It wasn't anything that I tapped into until much later in life. And so I continued to pray, and I remember hearing the words, I'm not only going to save your life, I'm going to elevate you, and you're going to use everything that you've gone through in life up to this point to help empower other people, to help change the trajectory of their life, whether it's personally or professionally. So that's how Elevate Now was born, and here we are today. 4 years later, 5 years later.
All right, so I actually want to take a step forward and then come backwards.
Okay.
So a lot of people watching say, yeah, she's a coach. So what exactly does a coach do? How can she help me get my personal life, my business, my actual goals to that next level?
That's a great question, actually. So when you hear the term coach, a lot of people automatically think like, why do I need to pay anybody money to teach me to do something that I can learn on my own? And so a lot of people subscribe to Google University. And hey, if that's you, I don't knock you. I mean, I use Google too, but I think there's something to be said about having access to someone who has real life experience in a particular area that can help you to move the needle forward faster as opposed to trying to do it on yourself and figuring out things for yourself. And the coaching industry is a lucrative business. I've said it myself, it seems like everybody's a coach now, but it is a multi-billion-dollar industry with no signs of slowing down anytime soon. And so I do think that there are some really amazing, very well qualified coaches. Not everyone is out to just scheme you and take your money. But the other perspective is this. Think of a coach as someone who is a mentor, a really good friend who has some life and business experience that you don't have, that can help you to achieve your goals
Right.
faster and in a much smarter way. The other argument that I would present is this: we spend thousands of dollars every year to go to college to get
Right.
a degree, oftentimes not being able to do anything with that degree after we've graduated. I'm definitely one of those people. College was great. You know, I have a undergraduate and a graduate degree, but I would argue to say that they really have not helped me
Right.
to do what I'm doing right now. I've had to learn on my own. Now, what it did help me to do was get my foot in the door with certain jobs to learn different things about the particular industry that I'm in, which is marketing and advertising and branding
Okay.
primarily. And so in that way, you know, when you think about what you have to invest in yourself, whether it's buying tools or technology or resources. We buy books. So why is it such an
Right.
issue to hire a coach? Now, the key is, again, hiring a coach that
A good coach.
a good
Yeah.
coach, and they have to have the work to
Right.
back it up. So
Right. Okay. So you're talking about mentorship.
Yes.
And how mentorship is really important before you get to that next level. And whatever you do, you know, mentorship.
Absolutely.
So obviously you've had some mentorship
Yes.
in your life. So talk to us about how that's taking you to where you are now. I mean, what is a true mentor, and what is the best way to go about, I guess, finding a mentor?
Okay. Well, the importance of having to have a mentor is just extremely invaluable, in my opinion. I think that a mentor is someone who leads and guides you. There's someone that you can go to in confidence for direction, for their advice, you know, whatever it is, but they're also a friend. They become my mentors that I've acquired over the years. They're my really good friends. They,
Right.
you know, they started out as just maybe a professional resource, but when you nurture and develop a relationship, it becomes so much more, and you can't put a price tag on
Right.
that. I think the way that you go about finding a mentor, sometimes it just happens. I'll use you and I as an example. When I moved to California from Ohio, I came here to pursue my acting career full time. And I had hit the ground running. And I literally, although I'd been acting all of my life, although I've been singing all of my life, doing it on a professional stage, and when I say professional, I mean in Hollywood, it was something completely different. I didn't know about the ins and outs of Hollywood. I just knew what I knew about my craft and my art, and that's what I was focused on. But as an actor, you're also an entrepreneur.
Right.
You're your
Right.
own, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so you still have to understand the business side of things, and that's what I was lacking. And auditioning for one of your films, and I ended up getting the role, and that's how we became good friends. But you became a mentor for
Right.
me and taught me so much about the industry, things that I didn't know, and it helped to move my needle forward in that. And so that's just an example. Sometimes you might come into a situation or an industry or, you know, whatever, and know a lot about what you're doing, but there's a lot that you don't know, and that's where a mentor comes in. And so I didn't necessarily seek him out as a mentor.
Right,
It kind of happened, and sometimes you'll find that you'll meet people, whether you're at events or you meet someone through a friend, and that's why it's so important to focus on developing and nurturing relationships. You can't isolate yourself. You can't be afraid to be visible. That's what I
Right.
tell my clients
Right.
all the time. Show up, because you don't know. Now, if there's somebody that you have an idea that you want them to be your mentor, reach out to them. But make sure it's something that's mutually beneficial. Don't approach somebody and say, I need you to do
You gotta-
X, Y,
you gotta
and
bring
Z.
some value.
But you've got to bring some value for sure.
Definitely. Value is super important.
Yeah.
A lot of people out there watching, they have dreams, they have goals, they have visions, they have a vision for a business, a vision for how they want their family to be, a vision for anything. I believe that a lot of dreams die with people because there's a lack of execution and them taking that step. Talk to us about execution, about how important that is to not just have it in your head, but to get it out there where you can feel it, touch it, and smell it.
Yeah. I will say there's this old saying, and it rings true, and you just reminded me. The grave is one of the richest places on earth.
Right.
And the reason why that is because there are so many people, like you said, who die with so many dreams and gifts on the inside of them that they never unleash, whether it's because of fear or a lack of confidence or they just don't execute. And it's just like, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. You have to do it one step at a time. Set many goals. You can have your large goals and say in 5 years, I want to have this house, I want to be married to this type of person, I want to have X amount of kids, and I want my business to be a 6-figure business. That's great. You need to write it down, but then you break those larger goals down into smaller goals. And then they seem a little bit more achievable. And there's something to be said about execution. And again, I'll use myself as an example. When I started Elevate Now, I didn't know a thing about blogging. I didn't know a thing about web design or anything else. But I knew that at that time, blogging was big. I knew that I had to have an online presence. So although I've been an entrepreneur for many years, being an online entrepreneur was something new to me. And I was coming out of a situation where I had to stop working in the film industry. And so I didn't have any income coming in. And it was hard. And I had legitimately a million excuses as to why I couldn't start Elevate Now. I spent hours upon hours of watching video on YouTube on how to create a website. And so again, I could have used those two different things. I don't know how to start a website. I don't know how to blog, but I sought that information. I started where I was with what I had. And then you just build on top of that, you know, you continue to go. And so you don't let anything stop you.
Right, it's important, it's important. So execution is the point here, is that if you have a dream, vision, a goal, seek out a mentor, seek out somebody who can actually help you get you where you want to be, because it's hard to get to that next level by ourselves.
Absolutely.
You know, and a mentor doesn't have to be someone that you see every day. It can be a phone call, it can be a webcast, it can be a Periscope, it can be reading a book. So just seek out people who they are where you want to be, and that definitely helps you get to that next level. So going back a little bit, we had your husband on the show a while back. A lot of people think that they're making an excuse. I have a wife, I have a husband, I have kids, I can't do ABC because I'm just so busy. Take us back to the growing pains on how you guys, because you guys are both entrepreneurs. You guys are both running your separate businesses, but somehow it vibes together. So take us back to some growing pains, because like I said, people think that I'm the only person that's going through this. No one else is experiencing what I'm experiencing in my life. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So prior to the entrepreneurship?
Prior to entrepreneurship, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a little bit.
What time do we have that?
Just a little bit.
Okay, so I'll give you the condensed version, and this is where he really challenges me to be concise. In a nutshell, so my husband and I have been married for 12 years, and 2 of those years we were separated. And what led to our separation, so we both were the it couple. You know, we were that couple that, you know, people admired. And in our church and our ministry, we were just that couple. We had a large wedding, and we're very established people in our community where we lived in Ohio. And we had the perfect dream. So to speak. I had come into the marriage with 2 daughters, and my husband didn't have any biological children of his own at the time. We got married. I was working in the advertising industry for one of the largest agencies in the country, and my husband was a top salesperson in the real estate, or in the mortgage industry, actually. And we were doing great. We had just bought a new home, and, you know, we were just being married. And a year after we got married, I was diagnosed with liver disease as a result of having lupus, and you know, we went through some challenges with that, and I actually left the fashion industry to go into the advertising agency industry, and my company had a large layoff, and my job was one of those jobs that was eliminated. I had just bought a brand new truck.
Wow.
We had this beautiful home. This was at the beginning of the housing crash. And we lost it all. Essentially, we lost it all. It was a domino effect. It was one thing after another. And we literally ended up with nothing. And we were homeless. And I couldn't take it. I'm 6 years older than my husband. I've always been independent and been on my own. And so I'm looking at him crazy, like,
what you gonna do?
bro, what's up? What's going on? What's happening right now? Because I'm not working. We've moved twice, and it was just disrupting our family, and it was crazy. And so I made the choice to leave. He was living in his car, and me and my son were sleeping on the couch at my girlfriend's house, and my 2 older girls, they were living with their dad and stepmom temporarily. And despite all of my experience, despite all of my education, I couldn't find a job. I could not find a job. And ultimately, I ended up having to take a job at McDonald's as a manager.
Wow.
McDonald's.
Wow.
So there's something to be said about don't be too haughty, don't be too prideful.
Right.
I mean, you have to do what you have to do when it comes to surviving.
Right.
And it was a humbling experience. And so we went through a lot. We lost, not only did we lose all of our material possessions and money, but we lost friends, people that we thought were our friends. They didn't show up for us when we needed it. And so it was heartbreaking. And I made the decision that now I'm going to live my life for me. I've put everybody else before me up to this point. I became a mom at 20, and so my entire adult life has been spent being a mom and giving to someone else. And so I said, well, I'm just going to do this for me.
Right.
And ultimately, of course, for my family.
Right.
But I needed to think about me
Right.
at that particular time. And that's how I ended up moving to California and going full speed with my
Amen.
career.
Amen. Well, that's the condensed version.
That is, believe it or not.
So it doesn't really matter what you're going through, what you've been through. There's always a light. If you can see the finish line, you can keep going and keep pushing and get to exactly where you want to be. It won't be easy.
No, not at all.
Not at all. There will be those roadblocks, those hurdles. There will be, in a sense, demons to actually keep you from achieving everything that God put into you to achieve. So, good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff. So thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
So
we have one more segment.
Okay.
It's called the lightning round.
Uh-oh.
So we ask you a series of random questions.
Okay.
Don't think. Just answer the question. So let me pull up my trusty iPhone here. So I'll be nice to you today. I'll just give you 3. Okay. So this is a yes or no question. If you want to explain, you can.
Okay.
If you were to write a book on failure, if it didn't sell, would that book be a success?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because I wrote it.
Okay. If you can be any animal in the world, what would it be and why?
A cheetah.
Okay.
Because I could outrun all my haters. No, I don't know.
All your haters?
I don't know. I move fast.
You move fast.
I
Okay.
move fast.
Okay. Let's see. How would you sell eggnog in the summer?
Same way you sell lemonade in the summer. On ice.
This is a stand. It's on ice.
Put a stand out there. People want something cool and refreshing. I'll put a little strawberry on top. You can sell anything to anybody if you know how to sell.
That is true. That is true. All right. And this is more of a serious type of questions. Okay. Why are you on Earth here today?
Wow.
Wow.
I know. Wow.
Don't think just boom. This is it.
I'm here to, it's simple. It's in my tagline. Inspire and empower people to elevate in every area of their life.
Amen. If you have that idea, that concept, that vision, go out there and do it. Make it happen. Take that first step into achieving and creating a life that you want for you and your family. We'll see you next time, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Born to create, born to lead, born to survive, born to give. We born.